What's going on, people? Welcome to the LV Live show. I'm LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Once again, I want to thank all the new subscribers for coming through and rocking with me, man. It's truly, truly appreciated. Come through rocking with LV on this LV Lunchtime Takeout show. Big win for them boys last night by beating the Sacramento Kings 133 to 104. OG Anunoby, 24 big points last night, 8 assists. The Big Cat, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 6 players in double figures last night. Fabulous game. Fabulous game from beginning to end. And I can honestly say, guys, this is probably the Knicks. Would you say this is probably their best win since the All-Star break? From beginning to end. Like they had a couple of good games, but defensively they just didn't have it going, right? Just didn't have it going. But since the All-Star break, I want to say this is probably their best win. Or maybe that win against the Grizzlies, right? But that was kind of like a nip and tuck game. But I'm speaking of a dominant performance. Great win, man. Great win. Altogether, man, I think the whole crew just came through and everybody said, okay, we're going to get the victory. Okay, we're not going to lose this game. And I think it was a commitment from top to bottom, even from the coaches. I even heard Tibbs out there screaming. Usually we hear him, but last night I heard him even more so. Maybe because not that many fans of Sacramento. I don't know. But I just heard Tibbs more so through TV. He was screaming defensive schemes, all that different stuff. It felt like everybody was on board for this game. Like everybody. Everybody was locked in to say, okay, we're going to get a victory today. Like, we're not going to lose 4 in a row. Like, that's not going to happen. And so for me, that's what it looked like last night. Also, too, you saw a great effort from Deuce, man. I thought Deuce really got the party started, right? With the way he was shooting in that first quarter. I thought that was great to see. Of course, he went to score 15 points in that first quarter, 5 for 5 from 3. Exceptional quarter from him. He ended off the game with 21 points. But I think that kind of set the tone, right? The Knicks had a really good first quarter. They came out, like I said, ready to go, right? So that quarter they won. I think they almost scored 40 points in that quarter. They scored 37 points in that quarter to the Kings 22. And that was, to me, that was the ball game, because the second quarter, the Kings came back. They made a push. And the second quarter was 29 to 29. So for me, my biggest thing was I wanted to see how are the Knicks going to look coming out of the half, right? It's cool. You coming out. You're all fired up. You want to get a win. Be actually catching them on a back-to-back. They played the Clippers the night before. So you want to see how the Knicks going to look, right? What's the energy going to be like coming out in the second half now? And the Knicks were on fire in that third quarter also. They won that third quarter 37 to 26, right? So once again, they kept the offense going, and they just kept their foot on their neck from beginning to end. And then they ended off that fourth quarter winning that also too, 30 to 27, man. So it was just a great team effort, man. Great team effort last night. Let's go to the highlights. Let's take a look at those. And I just thought that the Knicks were great last night, man. And I thought, for me, it's too early to say it's a must-win. But it felt like that. It felt like it was like a must-win game. Like it felt that way. Because we saw how they lost in all 3 of those games, right? I believe it or not, I felt those games they should have won, right? And then, of course, the other loss, of course, losing Brunson for a couple of weeks. So you're kind of dealing with a lot of momentum. And then, you're kind of like going on like on a downward slide, right? You're kind of going down the hill, sliding down the hill. So you're trying to figure out, okay, how do we get our footing back and get back up to the hill, get back in the winning column? What do we do? Who do we rely on? And it felt like everybody took responsibility in all aspects. And that was beautiful to see. And I just saw a different type of team. With this Grover, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live, doing this LV Lunchtime Takeout show. Quick breakdown of last night's game. And so that's just what it felt like, man. It felt like everybody was invested here. Everybody. I talked about dudes. Also, too, man, Josh Hart, man. Finally shooting the ball. With confidence, too. Like he's letting it fly with confidence. He's being a confident shooter. And that's what you need him to be. You don't need him up there, being unsure about taking shots, not knowing what to do. Like, we don't need Josh Hart to do that, man. Jay Supreme, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live, doing this LV Lunchtime Takeout show. Big win for them boys, 133 to 104. The Big Cat, 26 big points, 9 rebounds. And so that was good to see. Josh Hart's numbers were great too, man. He had 18 last night. He had 6 boards. I don't know why. I felt like he had more rebounds, but also, too, he had 3 assists, right? So I thought Josh Hart played well. Only 31 minutes for Josh Hart, man. So that was good to see. He was able to rest his knees, which we know has been a problem for him this year. So that's good to see. Also, too, man, Big Cat, right? I thought he was dominant last night. Right? I thought he pretty much was flexing his muscle and kind of saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to pick up the pieces here, and I'm going to be the Big Cat. Thought he was driving well. The 3 was on the money last night. And I just thought he played a fabulous game, man. I thought he played a fabulous game. I thought that he let the game come to him. And let me say this. We we need Brunson. Like, I don't want to say that we know. But last night, we felt more like a team. Like, no one was really relying on no one guy to come and do it and come and save the day. It felt like last night, everybody was relying on each other. And so sometimes what happens in that fourth is everybody will sit back and let Brunson play hero ball. And I don't think it's the players. I think a lot of it is the coach. Like, the coach sets the tone. So I felt last night you saw more of a team, everybody getting involved and everybody sharing the ball. You know, we went over 30 assists again last night. And not that we haven't before, but it just felt like as of late, let me say that it's been getting around to just strictly hero ball. Like, just watching Brunson just, do him at the end of the game, and, everybody just fall back and let Brunson just cook, right? And that's not good at times, because what happens is they go into a zone, they try to take away certain things from you, and I thought that made our offense stagnant, and it kind of took away certain things from certain guys. And now that Brunson's not going to be here, he's not going to be here for some time. Now guys are allowed to kind of, really be uber aggressive, because they know they don't have that safety blanket, or how can I say, that safety blanket. We'll just say that, to fall back on in Brunson and say, okay, it's fourth quarter. We're down by 1. It's a close game. Let them cook. Now you don't have that. So now what is everybody else going to do? And to me, I think that's the beauty of what I saw last night. So it was good to see Big Cat play well, but also to play within the offense. I don't think Cat was doing anything out of the norm. I thought he played within himself, and he didn't seem like he was trying to overdo it. He shot pretty well from the field too. Cat was, guys, he was 8 for 15 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, 7 for 9 from the free throw line, back to 50, 40, really 50, 50, 90, right? Cat was back to his normal self. And so that was good to see from him. Who I also thought had another great night was Mikal Bridges. I thought he had a solid night defensively. I thought he kind of kept Zach LaVine kind of like in wraps. Zach LaVine's going to get his, but he didn't really go bananas like he was doing with Chicago. He kind of was at ease, right? He kind of was pretty much chilling, which is good. But I think a lot of that was due to Mikal Bridges, right? Mikal Bridges was also being uber aggressive, I thought, as well again. He had a nice stat line tonight as well. He had a big he had like 7 assists. No, he had 8 assists. He's 15 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot 6 for 10 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. So he's getting to the free throw line now. He's going to be aggressive going to the rack. He seems like he's stepping up. Even I saw a little fire in his belly when he went to the rack and dunked it, and dude hit him in the head. He looked at the ref like, yo, come on, man. A little fire in his belly, right? So you're seeing a little bit of energy from him, aggression, right? You're seeing that now, which a lot of people were complaining about. But like I've always said, the floor is different when Brunson's not there. It just is. It opens up. So now guys can really, really do him because Brunson's not there. Now, that's not saying we don't want him. I want the captain back like ASAP. But it helps unlock certain guys like Bridges to where he's able to really operate. And you see him last 2 games, he's been a lot more aggressive, right? That's the reason why. The court has opened up for him. So now you don't have a guy like Brunson taking up so much space doing what he does, and you have a guy like Mikal Bridges can really be aggressive now, and he knows that he has to because there is no Brunson. So now he can do him. So that's the beauty of that. And guys just pretty much start getting better, man, start believing themselves. So when Brunson comes back, now guys can say, yo, man, we was rocking while he was going. Let's continue to keep that going and let him just add to it. And I think that's the beauty of what is happening right now based on what I saw last game. Also, too, man, I thought it was great production coming off the bench as well. I thought Landry Shamet, man, he had 13 points last night, which I thought was great, man. Shamet, 24 minutes, 5 for 7 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3 with Shamet, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 13 big points for him, man. I thought Shamet was great. Thought he was really, really good that night, man. I thought he was great. And just great to see, man, defensively. I thought we was after it too. Big Mitch was also good. He has played 16 minutes last night. He only scored 1, but he had 5 boards, 1 assist, and he had 4 steals last night for Big Mitch, getting back at it defensively, man. So I thought that was great as well. BQ from PK, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live. Big win for them boys on the road. 133 to 104. OG Anunoby, 24 big points, 8 assists. So I thought that was great too. Also, too, guys, we was on fire from 3 last night. On fire from 3. We shot 22 from 40, 55% from 3, man. This is probably our best shooting 3-point game since when? Since ever, right? They showed a stat up here. This was the second most 3-pointers we made in a game. I think the first one was 24. We made it. I think it was a couple years ago. It was 2021, if I'm correct. We made 24 threes in a game. We made 22 last night, man. We were on fire, man. On fire. Who made the most? I think Josh Hart made the most, man. I think Josh Hart was the one lighting it up, man. No, Deuce. Deuce was 4 for 5. Josh Hart right behind him, 4 for 6. So that was big. Josh Hart finally letting it fly, man. But I think it was Deuce, man. Deuce kind of set the tone. So I think that's really, you got to give credit to him for that. He really gave that that momentum and kind of like that positiveness that we needed to help us get us through that, man. So I thought that was a great game from him, great energy from him, which I thought was fabulous from Deuce. So he really kind of started getting the Nets ready for everybody else by banging them out in the first quarter. And then that pretty much just spread to the rest of the crew, man. But OG Anunoby had a great game, man. Let's listen to him, hear what he had to say. I thought he was fabulous last night. Let's hear from OG Anunoby really quick.
The overall game, hopefully you can hear us now. Yeah. That has to be one of the most complete games you've played as a Knick. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, probably. You know, I try to make every game a complete game, but that was definitely one of the more complete games.
OG, you had 8 assists tonight. What did you see, or what were they doing that opened up those passing lanes for you?
Just being aggressive and making reads and not forcing the shot, keeping my head up, and then looking for my teammates.
So, 3-game losing streak. Jalen Brunson's back east, and you're playing against a team that this game meant a lot for. What was the mood in the locker room? Was there anything specifically said? Just tell us what it was like before in terms of knowing how important this game was.
Just getting back on track. You know, trying to win the game, trying to play hard, do the things we know how to do.
OG, were you up that high where you hurt your nose on that dunk? I saw you go to the bench.
Yeah.
Your nose hurt. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. I had to make sure I saw it.
Yeah, had a nosebleed. It was crazy.
Okay.
OG, a brilliant game. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, guys.
OG Anunoby, man, so subtle, calm, collected. The cool thing is that they're able to start having fun, man. That's the cool thing. You know, winning makes everything fun, right? So, sensational game from him, and his stat line was crazy too. I didn't go through the whole stat line with him, but his stat line was insane, man. He was 24 points, like I said, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. OG had 5 steals last night. 5 steals for him. Exceptional game from him, man. Exceptional game. And once again, like I said, it was an attitude game, man. It was an attitude game, and it was kind of like a wake-up game for them boys, man, because I think, you know, losing Brunson and him being down, you know, this, like I told you guys before, we got the pieces, man, to really be a solid team in this league. Of course, Brunson puts us over the hump by making us a contender, but you take Brunson away, we're still a pretty solid team. So to me, that's where it comes down to, you know, it's execution, and of course, guys playing it within their roles, not trying to overdo it. And I think that by doing that, you're able to see, okay, you know, guys start to believe in each other. They start to play harder, right? So all those things matter, man. You think it doesn't, but it really does. And I think that the most important thing is them guys identifying, man, even though people say they don't hear that. Listen, man, trust me. there's probably whispers out there that this team is not good enough without Brunson, right? Trust me, those guys probably hear those things, man. And so it comes a time in the game where you really have to kind of like, or the season, I'll say, you have to kind of like just stick your chest out and say, nah, listen, we're a good team. You know what I'm saying? We need Brunson, yes, but Brunson is not the whole team. And so with him being down, we can still keep this thing together and pretty much win a lot of games. So when he comes back, it's not as if, you know, excuse my language, we the bed and we just, you know what I'm saying, kind of destroyed everything. So he's got to come back and clean up everything. It shouldn't be that way at all. And I think that that's the important part of last night's win and just the mindset that this team has to have going forward until he returns, right? Because we're going to need him, man. We're going to need him. But at the same time, we got to trust and believe that, you know, we can do this without him. This is not a one-man team. You know what I mean? They didn't create this team to say, okay, it was just about Brunson. It's about us too. So while he's gone and he's not here, we can still win a lot of games. And I think that's the most important thing, man. And so that, to me, that's what I think was important about last night's win. Very important. Okay, let me go to the chat here. BQ from BK said it was PJ Tucker effect that got the fire sparked. Yeah, PJ Tucker's back, right? Yeah, man. I saw him over there talking to Josh. I mean, he presents veteran leadership, man, which I think it's weird. I don't think we need it so much, but you know, it's maybe something the coaches are identifying in that locker room because he's not going to play much, man. He's not going to play for these guys. He's not even in the rotation. He's not. I doubt. Do you think he takes Shamit's minutes? I don't think he takes Shamit's minutes. Whose minutes does he take? You know what I'm saying? So I think him being here was more so like a veteran presence, maybe a voice they probably felt was missing in that locker room. So that's where the PJ Tucker piece comes into play here. But it's cool. It's cool that he's there. I think it's going to really help us, you know, with that leadership, like I stated. But, you know, having guys in the locker room like Josh and like Jalen, I thought was enough. I didn't really think, you know, so, I mean, adding him, I mean, it's, you know, I guess it's okay. I mean, we'll see what it looks like going forward. Disc Rover says also, Josh, do you see what happens when you shoot the ball? Yo, man, agreed, man. You know, we've been saying this forever, right, with him, right? Like, you know, he's got to just play ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, no need to be hesitant, no need to be unsure of yourself. Just shoot the ball, just play the game. And so I think that that's what happens sometimes with a lot of these guys, including him. You get so caught up in certain things. And I think also, too, believe it or not, they're not going to admit this, but they kind of get caught up in the whole Jalen Brunson hero ball stuff. They do. They're not going to admit to that, but I think they do, man. I think they do. And I think with him being there, his presence and what he does is such, he has such an alpha energy, meaning how he contributes on the court and what he does, that you kind of get caught ball watching, right? What is Brunson going to do now? Instead of playing your game. And there's been numerous times Brunson has set him up with great shots and Josh is hesitating. You know, but with Brunson not being there, maybe these guys feel, I don't know, man. They feel like they got to step up more so you start believing in their game more and not putting so much on Brunson's shoulders like, all right, well, you know, he's going to take us there. Like, you know, that shouldn't be the case. But it feels like it is, right? Because even with Mikal, it's the same thing, right? He's not really as aggressive as he needs to be, but I think it's the Brunson effect. You know what I mean? He's so ball dominant in what he does, and it's not bad because I think Brunson is amazing. But I think that these guys get so caught up in watching him that they kind of forget like their skill set at times, right? They forget what they can do because it's like now Josh Hart wants to start knocking down jump shots, right? Where was this at before when Brunson was there? You know what I mean? So it's weird, but like I said, this is all good because now they can probably start, you know, getting some confidence to when he does come back. It's not like okay, you know, we're going to pass you the ball and just move out the way. No, we're going to work this together as a team. And if Brunson has it going, Brunson has it going, right? But guys still don't stop being aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Jay Supreme said, I missed the game, but saw some highlights. Looks like Josh finally stopped hesitating and shot the three. Agreed. That was big for him, Jay Supreme. Big. Because now he's not overthinking it. You know what I'm saying? And so through that, he's able to knock it down, be confident when he's shooting the pill. The rest is easy work after that, man. This Grover says, we haven't seen a 40% from three since November. Wow, that's a long time, man. That's beginning of the season, this Grover. That's beginning of the season, man. That's a long time. A really, really long time. Let's really quick, let's see what Josh Hart is talking about, man. You know, Josh Hart's always got something to say, man. Let's see what Josh is saying. Hope everybody's enjoying their lunchtime, man. And today is Tuesday. Yesterday was very nice out yesterday, man. It was pretty nice out. So hopefully the week can kind of continue to be nice, man. I'm kind of ready for some nice weather, man. Let me see. Okay, let's see what Josh is saying, man. Should I turn this up for you guys? Show my volumes up. All right, cool, good.
3 straight games now where you guys held opponents in the low 40s. What are you seeing on the defensive end?
JB's not out there, so. But
3 straight games now where you guys held opponents in the low 40s. What are you seeing on the defensive end?
JB's not out there, so. But
listen, man, you can't make this up with this guy, man. You can't make this up. It's that roommate stuff. It doesn't stop, right? But they did show the stat, though. The Knicks have been holding guys, teams 42, I think 43 and 42% like last 3 games. So the defense has been getting better, slowly but surely. I think that's the Mitch effect, too. But I think also, too, it's a want to. I think they've been playing just better, man. I think they have been. But Brunson not being out there. Well, there is no weak points, right? Because, you know, you just have Cat out there. But everybody else is solid defensively. You know, Deuce is a monster at the top of the key. So Josh, when he's not being lazy defensively, he's really good, right? So that does play a role, even though it's a joke, right? It's a funny joke, but it might have some validity to it because, you know, you basically switch Deuce with Brunson, right? I mean Brunson with Deuce. So now we already know what Deuce is defensively, right? So now that looks different. It really truly does. And I thought also too Deuce did a solid job on Monk, man, because we know Monk could light it up. So that was big to kind of keep him at bay, right? Because he could really start cooking. And so you don't really want Monk and then Zach LaVine and then DeRozan, the 15-footer king. You don't want them to start getting activated because then that's going to be a tough night for us defensively. So I thought they did a good job on those guys. OG Anunoby, man, had DeRozan on clamps, right? DeRozan up there getting texts, getting mad and stuff like that because OG had him in jail last night. So that was good to see. That was good. DeRozan's all up in the ref's face, arguing a fight. I'm like, yo, DeRozan, you got to calm down, man. You got to calm down. Your team is getting ran out the gym, and you trying to fight the ref. That can't go down. But I think that was all OG Anunoby's defense, man. I think that's who that was to me. This Grover says, I really hope the Nigerian Prince practices his handles over the summer. He still dribbles like an 80. Yeah, he has no handles, man. None. Every time he goes, is it me or every time he goes on a fast break, like I'm holding my breath. Like I'm like, yo, I hope he doesn't fall on himself. So he sprained his ankle, right? I said, oh, here we go. But he was good when he got up. And but every time he's going to the rack, like I get worried, man. I get worried. When he's shooting a jump shot, I'm good. But when he's going to the rack, doing all that extra stuff, I'm like, yo, OG, man, relax. Relax. He always looks like he's about to get hurt. Whether it's an arm, whether it's a wrist, a knee, or ankle, whatever, man. He always looks like he's about to get hurt. Jay Supreme says, I like the signing. We need someone that will get in these dudes' faces when they're playing like. Yeah, I mean, I think that's important. I think also, too, Jade, I think that's got to be earned, too. He doesn't really know a lot of these guys long enough. He knows them, but not enough to where his voice is going to really resonate like that yet. So he's got to kind of build that camaraderie first to where it's respected. And then when he speaks, guys are going to sit back and listen. Because what you don't want is dudes in the locker room like, yo, knock it off, man. You just got here. And then it causes some division and stuff like that. And once that happens, you can't really get the respect back after that. You know what I'm saying? So that could be a problem also. Okay, Disgrover, it's been one good game so far, so we'll see what it's really like for PJ. Agreed. That's what I'm saying. Give it time. You know what I mean? He's got the pedigree, right? He's got the pedigree. We know he's played in a lot of big games. So, you know, I didn't realize he was in the league. They talked about last night. I didn't realize he's been in the league for 14 years. That's a long time to be rocking, man. And he didn't play all last year. You know what I'm saying? He didn't play basketball last year, so he was out. And then now, you know, they're trying to get I think he was, I don't know who he was with before, but the reality is that he hasn't played in a year. So I don't, you know, once again, you know, what do you really expect to get from him than, you know, some type of veteran leadership, man, to kind of motivate these guys. And, you know, a lot of these guys, I don't think need that. But, you know, a guy like, you know, lose somebody like maybe like a guy like Dadier, right? A guy like Kolick. Some of these guys that are younger guys and they kind of need that type of guidance and direction and motivation or whatever you want to call it. And so I think that it's very important for him with those guys in that aspect. King Ribby, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming to Rock with LV Live, doing this LV Lunchtime Takeout show, discussing last night's game. Big win for them boys, 133-104. The Deuce, 21 big points for him. Jay Supreme says, you got to like nice guys on this team, but sometimes you need a guy that's not afraid to say what needs to be said. Agreed, man. Agreed. You know, I'm going to say something that might not be politically correct. But sometimes, locker room fights are needed at times. And the reason why that happens is because, you know, you have a couple of guys in there that may not be as motivated as the rest of the team. So sometimes you have these shouting matches that lead to other things, right? And that's needed because sometimes you want to find out the type of fight that you have from these guys and who's willing to go into the foxhole with you or the back alleys with you, I'll say, right? You need to get into a backyard brawl or something. Who's got your back? Who's willing to go down an alley with you? You need to know, man, who these guys are. What backbone do they have? And sometimes that's why locker room fights happen or fights in practice. This is regular stuff. If you're an athlete, you know what I'm talking about. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually pretty healthy. I know some people say, yo, it sounds barbaric, LV, chill. It's ill like that. But if you've ever been on a team, ever been in locker rooms, ever been in practice, wherever, soccer field, on the gridiron, like me with football and basketball, baseball field, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And when your team's losing, and if you're sick of losing, and guys are in the back playing and joking, that's not cool, man. That's not cool. That's not cool, especially if you lost or you're on a 2-game, 3-game losing streak and dudes on their back laughing and joking. No. That's how fights start. And it's important to do that because you got to set a tone. Like, yo, we're not okay with losing. We're not okay with that. And so, you know, sometimes that stuff happens. So I get it with the whole PJ stuff. I get it. I get it. I understand it. We'll see if he earns enough respect from the guys to employ that, if that makes any sense. Hit him up for New York. NJ, man. Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live. This LV Lunchtime Takeout Show. This is what I do sometimes on lunchtime. Come wrap up with these guys and talk about last night's game. Appreciate you coming through rocking with me. Big win for them boys. 133-104. The Big Cat. 26 points, 9 rebounds. Jason Prim says, come on, LV. We've been a bit soft this year. The loss of Randall and Devo took away our toughness. Don't forget iHeart also, man. Don't forget iHeart. iHeart's big with that. Agreed, man. Agreed. Jay, man, I'm not knocking anything you're saying. I'm not. I agree with what you're saying, man. Like I do. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of fly guys on the team, if that makes any sense. We got a lot of fly guys, a lot of finesse dudes. You know what I'm saying? On the squad. Bridges is a finesse guy, you know what I'm saying? Step throughs. Cat is all finesse. We don't have no dudes that's throwing elbows, right? Randall threw elbows. So did Dante. So did iHeart, right? So we've kind of lost a bit of that edge. And so I see where PJ Tucker can bring that. The only thing I'm saying, Jay, is he got to earn that, though. You can't come in there, man, chopping in dudes' faces. You don't know them like that. Because that's when you get your nose broke. You know what I mean? So he's got to really like tread lightly. He's got to feel it out first, give him some time. You know what I'm saying? To really get the respect of certain guys and then take it from there. You know what I'm saying? Just got to be careful with stuff like that. He still want to keep his job. He don't want to get let go. You know what I'm saying? He's losing the check. Jason Supreme, what position did you play, LV? In what? Which one? Well, in hoops, when I played the shooting guard and I played the one. I played the 1 and the 2. And then in football, I played tailback and I played linebacker. I played inside and I played outside linebacker. If you know football, there's the Mike, there's the Will, and the Sam. Mike is the middle backer. He calls out the shots. Then you have the Sam linebacker. That's the strong side linebacker. Then you have the Will. That's the weak side linebacker. They got like the outside sweeps and stuff like that. I played the Will. That's what I played. If anybody knows football, that's football talk, man. BQ from BK says, was PJ and Hart teammates somewhere before? Nah, man, I don't know. But you know what it is? PJ's well-traveled, man. He's been around the league 14 years. He's played with 8 teams. They talked about it last night. Remember, Josh Hart is also well-traveled. We are his 4th team, right? His NBA career. So he's probably, these guys have been in the league a long time, and they've probably known each other. They've probably been cool for a long time. So, even though they're on different teams, they've probably been cool. You know what I mean? I know Josh Hart spends a lot of time in Miami during the offseason. So, he probably be link up with dudes. You know what I mean? So, that's kind of like what it is with a lot of these guys, man. You know what I mean? Like during the offseason, a lot of these dudes are friends, man. A lot of these guys is cool. You know what I'm saying? So, hit him up, says, good team effort last night. Everybody got burned. Agreed, man. Yeah, he went all the way. He played everybody, right? He played Beauchamp. He played the other kid too, right? He played Delon Wright. Delon Wright hit a 3. He played Anton Watson. Yeah, he played everybody, man. That's it. It's a new Tips thing, man. It's a new Tips thing. Jay Supreme said, I like this team, but I'm not a fan of. But yeah, listen, it's an edge thing, Jay Supreme. You know what I'm saying? These guys, I think that. Listen, we're a different team than what we were last year, guys. Let's be honest. We're a different team, and I think that it takes some getting used to, guys being a certain way and, different type of energy with this team. So I think it's a lot of things we had to learn about this team. And we did lose our edge last year. We can't deny that. We can't deny that we did lose our edge. And I think that's something also, too, that can't be like manufactured, right? You can't just say, okay, you got to have edge as a player. You got to be a gritty player. It's either you got it or you don't, man. And so that's the thing with that. So you're going to lose a little bit with losing guys like that, right? So the construction of your team is going to change. The identity of your team is going to change. So, it takes time to, kind of get those things back. Oh, listen, man, you see Doug Christie was talking last night, man. Let's see what he had to say, man. He was crying all last night, too, man. He was crying, man. He was crying. He wanted fouls and all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, come on, man. You can't get every call. You can't get every single call. Like, he's just, like, crying, man. Typical, Doug Christie stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was doing this back when he played as a player. He was doing this stuff. He was just crying last night, man. These guys cry too much. Too much. So let's hear what he had to say, man.
Where'd you see, obviously them, season high 22 threes from the, what'd you see from you guys from the perimeter trying to defend them?
Many in our league, especially in the analytics.
Where'd you see, obviously them, season high 22 threes from the, what'd you see from you guys from the perimeter trying to defend them?
Many times when you match up in our league, especially in the analytics era, guys are like, okay, we're going to live with that. And, Josh knocking down threes, and he hasn't been knocking them down at a high clip. When guys do that, it puts a battery in the back of other people, and then all of a sudden everyone's making threes. Disappointed with some of the inability to make them move, because they go down like 12 or 14% when they put the ball on the deck. And these are all things that we talked about, but executing game plan is different. You got to get out there and you got to execute it. A lot of times they were just driving head down to the basket and saying, do something about it. And that's what we want to do, is put the ball down, kick it out, and let our guys shoot threes, and we did not do that tonight.
Okay, I mean, it's a good breakdown. Good breakdown. He says that, Josh hitting threes kind of put a battery in everybody's back. I have to disagree. I don't think it was Josh so much. I mean, it was a great moment. I think it was Deuce. I think Deuce. Isaiah Costa, man, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rocking with LV Live. We're doing this LV Lunchtime Takeout show. Big win for them boys, 133-104. The Big Cat, 26 big points, 9 rebounds. I think it was Deuce. Deuce, that first quarter was big because Deuce knocked down 5 of them things in that first quarter. We almost scored 40 points on them. We was almost up by 20 on them in the first quarter. So that was big. So I think that pretty much put the battery in everybody's back. I don't think it was so much Josh. I think it was Deuce. I think Deuce set the tone, and then everybody followed suit from that. Excuse me. I will say this. I mean, I do think that we had more fight than them last night. I do agree with what he said there. I mean, I do think that. I think we wanted it, man. We wanted it. We lost 3 in a row. And 2 of those games, even the Clippers game, I felt we should have won because the Clippers didn't play that well. We just was making bad mistakes. We gave up too many threes. But I thought we would have won the Lakers game. We should have won the Lakers game, and we should have won the Warriors game. And so I think when you know that as a team, you're not trying to have this be a regular losing streak type of thing. So you want to come back out and you want to play really well. And I thought last night's effort from everybody was exceptional. Once again, Shamet had 13 points coming off the bench. So I thought just all together, everybody had this mindset like we're not losing today. And I thought that's just what his team faced. And it just stinks that they were coming off a back-to-back. But I think that you saw in everybody, basically in that first quarter, that we're not losing tonight. And the reason why I say this was the most complete game, because, guys, think about it. When is the last game? If you think about this season, when was the last game we played a complete game from beginning to end like this? We didn't take our foot off the gas at all. at all. They might have made a little run here and there, but they might have cut the lead to like 10 or 11. We had them in a chokehold all night. All night. So this is the most complete game I think I've seen across the board from us. And I just think that's because we wanted it. I think we really, really wanted this win. We didn't want to lose 4 in a row, man. Isaiah says, for me, it's important that this was the most important win of the season. Made this team, man, this team needs to go through adversity such as this. It builds character and it helps the overall team out for the future. Agreed. I do agree with that. I don't know if it was the most important game of the season. I don't know about that, but I do agree with the wins like this builds character, and it's good for the team for the future. Like I agree with that. I agree with all that. I just think that it was a 1-2, man. We really got after it last night. We just did. From everybody, from the top of the starters. You want to say Deuce, the first starter, and to the last player at the end of the bench, right? Everybody just wanted it. And so I think that, I think that's big, going forward for us, especially with Brunson being down. Hey, how do you guys feel about Deuce running the point, man? I'm still not crazy about that. He doesn't look good at the top of the key. He doesn't. And until I guess JB comes back, I would rather put Campaign out there. Let Campaign start and let Deuce come off the bench. Right, because Campaign, he swings it. He can knock down open threes, and he can penetrate somewhat. But he's better at facilitating the offense than Deuce. Like Deuce still struggles with that, man. Oh, Garros, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live, doing this LV lunchtime takeout show, man. Big win for them boys, 133-104. OG Anobi, 24 points, 8 assists. How do you guys feel about Deuce, man? How do you feel? I'm not, I love Deuce like I do. I thought he was exceptional last night, but running the offense, it's just not good, man. That's not good. I can tell, once again, I can see his limitations, man. And then also, too, I think even though he had a great first quarter, after that, he only scored 6 more points in the game. So it takes away, in some ways, his aggression, because now he's got to facilitate, and that's not his game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather him be off ball, and I would like Mikal bringing it up, because Mikal did it in Brooklyn. You saw Mikel's passes last night, too. He had 8 assists last night. His numbers were crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? His numbers were crazy. I mean, Deuce had 7 assists, but OG Anobi had 8. Like, our wings were fabulous last night. It was really, truly wing stop. But I'm just saying, I think Deuce's superpower is being an off guard. And so I think that you got to kind of allow him to still do that. I think putting Campaign in the starting lineup, running the point, I'm not saying he's got to play, 40 minutes in that. I'm not saying that until Brunson gets back, but give him time to run with that second unit. Then you make the switch to that first unit, Then you make the switch to the second unit, bring in the reserves. And now Deuce can play off guard and light it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when he's out there with the starters, let's say it's the end of the game and he's out there with the starters. Now you can do, you can rotate point guard responsibility from Josh Hart, because Josh Hart can run it. You can run the offense from the top of the key. So can Mikal Bridges. Those guys know what they're doing. You can tell Deuce is still unsure. Like, he's not confident in himself. Like, you could just see it. And so for me, like, I would not do that, because I love when Deuce is aggressive. I love aggressive Deuce, looking to shoot every time he gets the ball, looking to penetrate. Like, I love that. I don't really like the guy, who's trying to, facilitate. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's his superpower. Hit him up says, I thought Kolek was going to get more minutes at point. Yeah, man. I don't. Once again, man, I don't know what's going on with that, man. I want to see him get more minutes. I want to see that. But once again, that's really kind of falls on Tibbs, man. What Tibbs feels like, he wants to give guys, I guess. I don't really know what goes into that. I don't know. I'm not in the locker room, man. I'm not behind the scenes. I wish I was, because if I was in the locker room and I was behind the scenes, I would be able to tell you guys exactly what's going on. Because it's easy to figure out. And I'm not saying like you see rumors and stuff like that, but what I'm saying as far as you see how movements are done in practice. Like, I know what to look for in practice, like with certain guys. So if the Tibbs is allowing certain things, he's allowing certain sets, you kind of can see, okay, this is what he wants to do and how, he sees things. And, I don't know. I don't think Deuce is a point guard. Period. I think he's an off guard. And I think you got to use him as such. Don't try to put him like in a box or nothing like that. I don't really agree with that. He's too good of a player, man. And so I just think you have to let him be him. Let him be aggressive. Let him do what he does. Let's not try to take away his superpower. But when you're trying to make him be a facilitator, man, that takes away really who Deuce really is. And to me, that's like my biggest thing with that. You know what I'm saying? With the whole Deuce piece. Coach, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live doing this LV lunchtime takeout show. Big win from boys, 133 to 104. The Big Cat, 26 points, 9 rebounds. Hey guys, what do you think about Mitch last night, man? Mitch was getting active, right? Mitch is getting better and better and better, man. He's still getting his time in though with the oops, right? You see it, right? They try to give him one. He kind of missed one. I kind of still like, I still know he's still trying to get his legs right. But he's getting up there in minutes now. He played 16 minutes last night. Thought he was solid again, getting offensive rebounds, right? Looking like vintage Mitch. Right? So he's slowly but surely, Disc Rover, you're right. Disc Rover says Mitch is ramping up. Agreed. But he's looking good, though, Disc Rover. He's looking good. He's looking good. So we got to kind of see exactly how that plays out. But hey, guys, also, too, man, you saw Precious play last night, man. I thought Precious was solid also. Tibbs ain't playing him, man. We see how many minutes Precious played, man. Yo, dogs. Precious played only 5 minutes last night, man. Only 5 minutes. He went 1 for 2, 0 for 1 from 3, no rebounds, no assists, no nothing. 1 foul. They snatched him out. Yo, Precious didn't see the floor last night, man. Yo, Tibbs is cold-blooded with it, ain't he? Yo, I thought Precious should have played more last night. What do you guys think? I like Precious out there with Mitch. I like Precious out there with Mitch, Josh, and I like Precious out there with Mitch, not Josh. Mitch, OG, Mikal, and then Deuce or Campaign. That's how I like that with Precious. But yo, he ain't getting no minutes, man. None. Tibbs is kind of letting it be known what his rotation is going to be now, man. He's letting it be known what his rotation is going to be. He's going to go 9. He's going to go 9. He already let you know the guys. It's going to be Payne, Deuce, maybe Shamet. Excuse me. Maybe Shamet and Mitch. That's it. That's going to be the 8 or 9 coming off the bench for the playoffs. This Rover says Precious is a spacing nightmare, man. Unfortunately, he can't shoot. No, listen, I agree, but that's why I said this Rover that you put him out there with Mikal and OG, right? Because then you just have him right, just kind of like playing a 4. He's not really, because he can play that mid range right there, and have Cat patrolling the paint, going side to side. But Precious had a nice turnaround yesterday. So I think that should be his game right there in that mid-range. James Bream says Precious is going to be situational. No, agreed. I agree with that. Isaiah is going to keep saying it. When Mitch is fully here, man, it's going to be so good to see where we're going to be. We're going to be closer and closer to seeing the true blockness monster. Yeah, man. Mitch, I think he's getting close, man. I think he's getting close. But I do agree with you. You're going to really see the true potential of him. But altogether, man, I just thought it was a great win last night. Great win and a much-needed win. Much-needed win. Hitman says, hit him up, excuse me. Says, Knicks did TJ Warren dirty, man. The man's been balling. PJ didn't play for 2 years. Here's the thing with TJ Warren. Hit him up. Who's he going to play over? So when you bring these guys up, right, you got to think, are they going to really contribute, like minutes? Like, are they going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, are they going to really play? PJ Tucker's not going to play. He's not, but he's a veteran leadership, and maybe some type of guidance. Maybe Tibbs and them felt they needed in that locker room. I don't know. Only they know. But just thinking about it, they had an opportunity to bring, TJ and, Okiki and, of course, Moses Brown, right? But they didn't bring those guys aren't going to play, man. Because as of right now, what is it, 18 games left? 18 games? Or is it 19? 11, 12. I think it's 19 games, right? Because what are we? We're at 63 wins, right? 63 games. So we're 40 and 23, right? 41 and 23. Okay, so we're 41 and 23. So we're at 64. So at 64 games, so we got 18 games left. So now it's just he's just trying to get the rotation together, man. Win some games, but kind of get like in the playoff field. Right now, Tibbs is figuring out his playoff rotation. Like, that's what he's doing. And I don't think he's figuring out. I think he knows. But what I mean by figuring out, he's getting the rotations together with who's going to come in for who. What does it look like? Who can play with who? What does this matchup look like? Can you play OG, Shamit, Mitch, and Precious and Deuce together? Or can you, right? I'm just saying different matchups, like different lineups. Who looks good together? I think he's still figuring that out. Because when the playoffs come, who rocks with each other good, who doesn't, what lineup goes well, what, you know what I'm saying? So I think that they're all still trying to figure that out. Earl Garrett said, haven't seen Sims play in Milwaukee, but I'm hearing Sims is playing much better over there without fear, getting yanked out the game. I mean, yeah, man. Who they got over? They got Doc over there, right? I mean, Sims got a lot of upside, man. We've all known that, man. He just couldn't unlock certain things. He struggled to unlock certain things, but he's got a boatload of potential. Hit him up, says TJ Warren can be insurance if OG or Josh Hart gets hurt. Listen, that's a great point. I don't think they're looking at like insurance for those guys. I mean, maybe that's how they see Shamit, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with it, but I'm just saying maybe that's through the lens how they're looking at it. I missed the game. Did Beauchamp? Yeah, he played, but he played at the end, man. He played at the end. This Grover says, will we have Bojan and Anton for that? I don't think so. I don't think they make the playoff roster. This Grover, because of when they were signed. I don't. It's weird. I don't think they make the playoff roster. Anybody, if you can, look that up for me right now, because I believe that's what it is with those guys. I don't think they make the playoff roster. Those two guys. See, the Yanks lost Garrett Cole, right? If anybody follows baseball, he's out for the season, man. Crazy, man. Crazy. So do you guys think that as of now, based on the way things look, do you think Tibbs should start kind of like giving like a Kolek some minutes over campaign? You guys think that should start happening now? The Scrover said TJ wasn't going to make the playoff roster either. Honestly, yeah, man, that's the thing. That's the thing. I think that's what he's working out right now. This Grover is that playoff roster. That's all the rotate. That's all he's working on right now. Because you guys got to think, it's what I just said. It will be 18 more games. 18 more games, and it's the playoffs, guys. So, now he's just trying to figure things out. Sorry. Oh, Garrett, you said, how do I feel about Brown? Who's talking about Moses Brown? The big man, big kid? He's from the city, too. He went to, where did Kenny Anderson go? He went to Archbishop Malloy. Big kid. I mean, I feel he's a good ball player. He's good, but, we don't need a center right now. We got Mitch. Mitch is back. So where's he going to play? You know what I'm saying? Once again, right, you got to think about the rotation. And if Mitch gets hurt, let's just say, let's knock on wood on that. Or Cat gets hurt, knock on wood on that. Mitch will start, and Precious will back him up. So he's got the pieces. Once again, it's almost playoff time. So you got to put in the guys that you trust and you believe in more than these other guys. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. So, all right, people, listen, let me get up out of here. Listen, I will be back tomorrow to talk about the Portland game. It's another late one. So we got to see, man. LV might do another lunchtime takeout show after. I'm not sure. Play it by ear, but you'll definitely see a post for that. All right, listen, I appreciate everybody coming through, rocking with LV Live. Big win for them boys last night, 133-104. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Hit that like button, people, right? Also, too, if it's your first time coming through, rocking with me, and you want a replay gang, please subscribe to the channel. And also, too, leave comments because I do respond to comments, people. All right? But listen, that's my show. I'm out of here. I will be back to discuss the Portland game, so please come through and check that out. All right, people, I'm LV Live, and that's my show, and I'm out of here. Peace.